Do you want to know the secret to making six-figure income in your job or loving the job that you do? This, the secret is really simple, honestly. It's just giving a shit. It's just caring about what you do. Um, I had a conversation with somebody on a help desk yesterday, and it inspired me to create this card talks because um, I've talked to a lot of people like him in the few years that I've been, doing the whole career IT community PowerShell thing. And one thing that truly sets people like him and others apart that I meet at conferences is that when it boils down to it, they just care more than their coworkers. They care about getting better at their job. They are passionate. They are enthusiastic about what they're doing. They honestly just geek out in the IT world. They geek out on things like, wow, look at this thing. They're really enthused and really jazzed up about this PowerShell script or this new piece of software that helps them do their job better. And they just have this innate desire to tell people about it, to evangelize that particular piece of technology. That's one thing that PowerShell in particular had for me. It was a piece of technology to where I felt just so interested in it and so passionate about it that I just had to tell other people. And that's one thing that I really see that sets apart most high achievers. I mean, people in their career, you can be at any level in your career. I mean, you could be at the help desk level, you could be a system administrator, you can be a senior solutions architect, you can be a lot of the different roles. I mean, you can really get jazzed up about something and share that knowledge and just have this desire to really get involved with it at any level in your career. You don't have to be a senior person to really get it. That's one thing that I've really seen that for me as a mentor for a lot of these people that I've seen is that I see that it's unfortunately it's a rarity to see that kind of enthusiasm, that kind of passion for that kind of for a particular piece of technology. It's very refreshing to talk to somebody that just wants to get involved. They want to do the user groups. They want to go outside of their their typical 9-to-5 role and just do only what's required of them for a paycheck. Your job and your career shouldn't be just you come in, do your 8 hours or 9 hours and whatever you have to do and go home. Your career needs to be something that you enjoy doing. And that's what I see, that people that are enthusiastic and they're really jazzed up about what they're doing, those are the people that feeling not only shows people that you know what you're doing, because if you're enthusiastic about something and you really want to do something, you're naturally going to be happier doing it. And when you're happier doing something, you just want to constantly do more and more, and you'll want to learn more and more and more about a particular area. And if you're enthusiastic enough about it, you think this is just the coolest thing ever, typically you're going to want to share that with other people, share that with your coworkers, share that with the internet, the online community, blog about it, go to conferences, speak about it, whatever have you. But all of that mentality stems from just giving a shit, just caring about what you do. I've worked with many people, and I'm sure many of you have, that you could tell they just don't care. They've checked out a long time ago. They're just drones that will just check in, 5 o'clock, check out, and they just don't really care what they do. If the boss tells them, hey, I need you to go, I don't know, scrub the toilets or something. Okay, yes, boss. And they just do it, and they're just going through the motions all day. They don't necessarily care. They don't think creatively. They don't challenge their boss and think, well, why don't we do it this way? They're just, the yes men that come in and say, okay, yep, 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 whatever their mentality is, whatever the boss tells them to do, they're going to do because that's what's the minimum required to get a paycheck. They just come in for the absolute minimum. And when somebody like yourself comes along and says, this thing is the greatest thing ever, this is awesome, and they just, yeah, that's fine, go away. That's too much change. We don't want change. Change will make me work more, make me possibly put in more hours. And that's one thing that if you are that enthusiastic about something, you do see something, that's one thing that you could really recognize in your work environment, that you're in the wrong work environment, to where if your manager or your coworkers, anytime you come up with something that's saves time, makes the job easier, makes the team's job easier, and you propose those things, just check the reaction of your coworkers and your managers and see, like, well, are they receptive to that? Do they want to hear more, or are they like, yeah, that's great, go away, we have more important things to do? That attitude there can be a completely other different card talks, but that's the kind of attitude, if you are that enthusiastic type and you do give a shit about something and you do truly care about it, and it is going to improve the job situation, improve your team's output and efficiency, and you get that, well, that's great, well, we have all these other things to do now, get to do during your real job, go just do your job. If it's not in your job role, then you have no authority doing it. You could get the feel for that if they are not receptive to that. They just kind of like, yeah, dismiss you, I want you to be a drone just like everyone else. That is probably a good indication that you need to work for another company. That is the difference between a job and a career. But in summary, this is going to be kind of another shorter car talks, but I just wanted to instill upon you that you need to just care about what you're doing, care about what, and read what kind of emotions that you have whenever you're working with something. Us being, our typical introverted selves, a lot of us aren't really emotional about something. We aren't really extremely enthusiastic about something. Maybe we might be internally, but we don't usually portray that, outwardly, that a lot of the extroverts do. But you need to really feel like what area of your job, what area of a piece of software, technology, coding methodology, anything like that, latch on to anything that you really you care about, that you do a good job with. So you care about, I care about the PowerShell scripting language, and I care that I write good code. But at the same time, you can create crappy code in any language, and you could create good code. The difference is the time that you spend between the two. If you're like me and you know how to write good code, I'm going to try to write good code because I care about the code that I write. It's a craft. It's a point of pride, I guess, if you write and can provide great code. It's just one example, but at the end of the day, again, it all comes down to just caring what you do. If you find yourself maybe burnt out in a job, not really caring, just going in, just doing the minimum just to get a paycheck, just sticking exactly to your job role and not really having any interest to step outside of that, really ask yourself, is this the job that I want to be in? Is this the company that I want to be in? Is this the culture that I want to be in? Am I working with the stuff that interests me? If not, it is high time to start looking around for a company that will embrace that mentality and let you work with those things that really get you jazzed up.